We begin our journey as Ethan Winters. Our wife and local resident of the Uncanny Valley, Mia, has been missing and presumed dead for 3 years. After receiving an email from someone claiming to be our wife, our best course of action is to, of course, travel to the location she mentioned in rural Louisiana completely alone and hope for the best. As we arrive, we admire our sweet ride and then continue up to the residence where evil may or may not be taking up residence. The gates are locked, so it's time for us to take the scenic route, complete with abandoned vehicles, weird dead animal shrines, and a disappearing geriatric. We are, of course, not deterred by any of this and continue on. Dropping down, we find some of our wife's possessions in a burn pit, which is pretty convenient. I mean, she was missing for 3 years, and they just happened to try and burn this stuff today so we could find it and confirm that she was in the area, so that was pretty nice of them. Feeling like we still have this situation under control and definitely don't need to go back and inform the authorities, we continue on into the creepiest house you've ever seen. We wander inside and find a recreation of my kitchen from college, complete with my old roommate's cooking rendered in disgusting HD. Exploring upstairs, we find a VHS tape, which we play downstairs in a totally not haunted study area. The video shows us some Ghost Adventures wannabes who seem like great people.
Where did you find this guy? Give me a break, Pete. Hey, I only work with professionals.
I sure hope nothing bad happens to them. The sewer gators explore the very house we are currently in. While admiring the kitchen, Andre disappears, leading our camera crew to the study area where a secret passageway is revealed. Climbing down the ladder, they catch up with Andre, who is hanging around after getting piped down. Now with the knowledge gleaned from the tape, we pull the chain and descend into the underground area. Continuing on, we find a locked gate that we open with a nearby pair of bolt cutters. Finally, we are reunited with we'll go with lovely wife. There's something very unsettling about how Mia looks, and I don't know if it's the fact that her hair is seemingly floating or that she has a face that only an AI could love, but she gives me the creeps. But before we have too much time to gaze into the uncanny abyss that is our beloved's face, Mia mentions that Daddy is coming.
Hey, yo!
And we trek off into the basement labyrinth of nightmares. Mia thinks she knows where she is going, but gets really upsetty spaghetti when a door isn't where it should be, and she decides to take an angry nap about it. We then do the only reasonable thing in this situation, which is go to the other room and play with dolls until we hear some crazy shit going down. Mia's gone, and the disappearing door has reappeared, leading to a path forward. We head upstairs and appear to be in a different part of the guest house. We go into the bathroom and are in the middle of ransacking the medicine cabinet for random bottles of first aid healing fluid when we suddenly hear someone knocking. We head back to the stairs from the basement where we run into Mia again. And boy, is she happy to see us. After showing off that her face now somehow looks worse than it did before, she casually throws us upstairs before attacking us with a knife. We try to tell her that we're just not that into knife play, and Mia seems to take it well.
I deserve this.
She appears to be down for the count, before floating up off of the ground and using her Herculean strength to throw us through a nearby wall. Looking around, we find a hatchet and decide to politely axe our wife to leave us the fuck alone. The phone starts ringing at the end of the hall. Picking it up, a woman named Zoe tells us that we shouldn't be here, as if we didn't pick up on that by this point, and recommends that we escape the house by leaving through the attic. As we return to the room we left our wife in, she's up to her creepy ways again and has disappeared. At least she left the hatchet for us. That was kind of her. We head back into the main area of the guest house, and use the bolt cutters to unlock a cabinet that we saw when we first came in, giving us a fuse for the circuit breaker in the study. Replacing the fuse in the circuit breaker should allow us to drop an electric staircase leading to the...
It's okay. It's okay, it's me. I know you didn't mean to hurt me. You shouldn't have done that!
Well, seems like Mia didn't like the axe pun from earlier. She decides to say, "Screw you, Ethan. I saw that coming from a mile away." And honestly, good on her for calling out my lazy jokes. I really have to hand it to her. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, replacing the fuse in the circuit breaker should allow us to drop an electric staircase leading to the attic. Since this game takes place in America, we find a gat and some ammunition sitting on a table. We may be missing a hand, but at least we have the right to bear arms. With our newfound confidence brought on by the Second Amendment, we head up into the attic and begin our climb to freedom when the familiar sound of a chainsaw stops us in our tracks. It's Mia jumping in from the top rope, and the match is on. After we bust a few caps in our beautiful, blushing bride, she drops like a sack of potatoes, leaving us to wonder if it was really worth it trying to save her in the first place. We don't have much time to ponder leaving Mia's ass here, though. The daddy our wife mentioned was coming earlier, Jack Baker, spins us around and gives us the traditional Louisiana welcome of a fist to the head and a boot to the face. Very hospitable. Now, a lesser person wouldn't have survived all this. Their body would have given out and they would have shuffled off this mortal coil. But not our boy Ethan. He is built different. He's made of stronger stuff, if you will. Some might say he breaks the mold when it comes to main characters, but I digress. After someone decides to be super kind and takes the time to staple our missing hand back on, we wake up to every nightmare I've ever had about eating over at my extended family's house. Complete with unidentifiable cuisine and family members that look as uncomfortable as I feel. Jack Baker, his wife Marguerite, and their son Lucas are very excited to have company. Grandma doesn't seem too enthused about us stopping by, though. Everyone seems a little weird, but Lucas is clearly being a hostile little shit, so Jack decides to disarm his son. After insulting Marguerite by refusing to eat her famous intestine casserole, Jack decides to teach us a lesson in manners. Right as he is about to get to the point of the lesson, we are saved by the literal bell as someone is at the front door. The family decide to leave us with the responsibility of taking care of Granny Dearest. Now, I was raised to respect my elders, but it's getting kind of late, and this visit is going on way too long. After we lean with it, rock with it, we escape our bindings and try to find a way out of this hellhole. As we head down the hall, we run into Jack again, who is all too eager to give us a piece of his mind for leaving Granny unattended. Sneaking past him, we grab a key and head back to the kitchen to escape down a conveniently placed hatch. But Jack has a leg up on the competition and decides to both literally and figuratively cut us down at the knee. Geez, I guess Jack really takes our manners as a house guest seriously. We don't want to start our time off here in Dulvey on the wrong foot. And honestly, we should be grateful the Bakers are letting us stay here. I hear they usually charge an arm and a leg. Anyway, we pick up our own foot, which for most people would be alarming, but in this case it's the second limb we've lost this evening, so it's whatever. Jack offers us a bottle of strong first aid med, which we promptly use to heal bone, muscle, tendon, etc., and before we know it, we're as good as new.
What the fuck?
We quickly scamper down the hatch, and Jack lets us know he'll catch up with us later. We exit the hatch into the laundry room and are about to leave when the phone starts ringing again. It's Zoe, saying that we've done well and that there may be a way out through the main hall. Leaving the laundry room, we tried to head to the end of the hall and find a door that requires a small metal piece to open. Heading back the way we came, we hear someone at the window. A local deputy has come to investigate the area, and for some reason, Ethan thinks that the best way to prove that he is A, a victim in need of help, and B, perfectly sane, is to ask the officer for his service weapon. The deputy gives Ethan a pocket knife as a consolation prize, which we use to cut the tape on a box leading to the garage. Catching up with the deputy, he informs us that he has to cut out early due to a splitting headache. Jack is back, and we grab the gun that the deputy dropped, then quickly run over to the table where the keys to our sweet ride are waiting. Hopping in the car, we play a quick game of vehicular manslaughter until Jack gets tired of getting the runaround and takes matters into his own hands. He tries to impale us on some collapsed steel, but he comes up a little short. I guess this is the end of our friend Jack, though, as he is not only impaled but now on fire. Oh, okay. Our car desperately tries to help us win the battle by using self-destruct, and it seems super effective, taking Jack out for good and allowing us to... Oh, come on. Jack shows us a mind-blowing trick, and we escape the garage, making sure to grab the ox statuette on our way back to the main house. We head back to the door, unlock it, and make our way into the main hall of the house. We get another phone call from Zoe, during which we learn that Jack is her daddy as well, but this time I think she means literally. We apologize and let her know that her father is currently all over the garage, which doesn't seem to bother her too much. Zoe lets us know that our next goal should be leaving the house, and in order to do that, we have to find some metal dog plates for a door in this hall. What is it with these people and their weird animal-shaped metal relief locking mechanisms? This is weird. We head upstairs, and in our absence, Grandma has somehow wandered up here. We still don't have time for elderly sitting, however, and we continue on to another recreation of my college apartment, but this time it's the bathroom. Someone has drawn us the nastiest bath you've ever seen, but we decide to pass and find a wooden figurine in the tub after draining what I can only assume is raw sewage. We're about to leave without washing our hands, when surprise, Jack is back again, looking a little worse for wear. It seems that someone gave him a gift that keeps him from dying, but I'll be damned if that's gonna stop me from trying. We squeeze off a few clips into Daddy Dearest, giving us enough time to return to the main hall and use a light-based shadow puzzle to open a crack in the wall.
What? Who builds this shit?
We continue forward through rooms that are so dirty and disgusting that they actually come to life and start to attack us. This is our first molded enemy, a product of the family's twisted experiments on kidnapped locals. Normally I would use bleach to clean up mold, but I guess in a pinch, bullets can work. We continue downstairs to what the game ominously calls the processing area, fighting through wave after wave of molded, eventually grabbing a key from the house's private crematorium? You know, I know this house is huge and has a guest house, but an on-site crematorium? A bit wild, but whatever, ups the property value, I guess. We also take some time to grab the scorpion key for later, then head through a door and see the red dog's head statuette just sitting on a shelf waiting for us. Ah, crap. Seems Jack has recovered and is in the basement having a bit of an identity crisis. His position as the alpha daddy of the family has been challenged by our arrival, so Jack vows to make us pay, telling the deputy's partially decapitated body that somehow he will help. I don't know how this guy's going to do too much, but hey, whatever works, I guess. In the next room, we find the red dog's head precariously perched by a pit, which surprisingly turns out to be a trap. I know, shocking. Jack is back again, and is trying to kill us with a comically oversized axe. We smack Jack back with a clickety-clap from the strap, and he's taken aback, so he tries to vary the attack. He does his best Evil Dead impression, wielding a custom pair of chainsaw scissors, and we think, wow, that looks extremely dangerous, but damn if it doesn't look fun. We grab a saw of our own and do our best to recreate the chainsaw fight from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. During the fight, Big Daddy remembers that comedy happens in threes and decides to cut off one of our limbs again. I honestly don't know how this keeps happening. Consider me stumped. I know it might seem like I'm pulling your leg with failing all of these boss encounters, but I promise I am trying to put my best foot forward. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this has gone from absolutely terrifying for our boy Ethan to more of an inconvenience. After getting into the swing of things, we cut Jack down to size. It seems like he didn't think we could hack it. Sorry we had to burst your bubble. He tries to get back up, but realizing that he is only half the man we are, he gives up and finally dies. For good this time. Honest. We use the chainsaw to escape the fight pit and return upstairs, where someone is creepily humming? Oh, it's Granny. Fucking weird, but we don't have time to try and find a retirement home for her, as we have a lot to do. We use the scorpion key to get back to the main hall. We grab a nearby pendulum and perform a clock-to-clock transference, also known as hickory-dickory docking, with the empty one near the kitchen, giving us the white dog's head. Heading upstairs, we try to unwind in the rec room with a good book, but instead are blessed with the blue dog's head, completing our collection. Before we escape from the house, however, we should probably up our arsenal. There's a statue in the main hall holding a shotgun, but when we try to take it, a weighted lock mechanism closes the door behind us. Seems we'll have to find something to do the old Indiana Jones switcheroo with, if we want to take the shotty with us. Luckily, with the scorpion key, we can unlock Granny's bedroom near the rec room, which lets us find the treasure we've been looking for. No, not that. That. We take the broken shotgun back downstairs, swap smart, swap S-smart, and finally we can walk away with our boomstick. Returning to the door, we insert the dog's head pieces, finally allowing us to escape to the backyard. We head towards the trailer, and just in case you forgot this game takes place in America, we find a gat tucked into bed. It appears to be broken, but if you search under the porch, you can find a repair kit that will get Mr. M19 back into working order. We get another phone call from Zoe, where she explains that she and her family are contaminated. They can't leave the property, and Mia unfortunately shares the same fate. There is hope, however, as Zoe knows of a serum that can clear up the sickness. She does not know where the serum is, but she has an inkling that her mother Marguerite may be holding out on a secret supply. So she asks us to go to the old house on the property and find out what we can. Now, there's a lot of debate on which is scarier. Some people say the guest house or main house are the creepiest, others say that the old house is worse, but I think they all pale in comparison to the realization that the Bakers own all of these houses. It reminds me that crazed boomers are the only homeowners now, and property ownership is a distant fantasy that I am not sure I will see come to pass before I rot. But I digress. We head inside and find that the old house is infested with all kinds of creepy crawlies. We fight through giant flies, bees, nests, all this shit, and are about to pick up a stone statuette when we come across the ugliest ghoul of them all. Oh wait, that's our wife! We ask Mia what the hell is going on, to which she responds with a, I don't know, remembering stuff is hard. Before we can delve any further into this, Lucas shows up. He acknowledges us as daddy, then abducts mommy Mia. I am really starting to dislike that guy. We grab the stone statuette, head back and try to go through a nearby door, but Marguerite greets us with some of the worst lip syncing I've seen in a game in a long time. She makes the door grow spiders, which is a little unnerving, but nothing we can't handle with our good old pocket knife. We sneak through the door to avoid attracting attention and make our way to a side room containing the burner nozzle. We're going on a bug hunt, and this will come in handy later. Heading back inside, we forget that we are trying to be sneaky and run directly into Marguerite. She tries to attack us with bugs, so we use our new shotgun and pistol to turn her face into ground beef. She doesn't like our extreme makeover, so she pushes us over and runs off to powder her nose. Before continuing on, we make a quick detour and grab the burner grip out of a nearby trash can. Combining the nozzle and grip gives us the merchandising rights to Resident Evil the Flamethrower. The kids love this one. This will make clearing out the bugs and nests in this area a lot easier, after which we will promptly put it in storage and never use it again. We use the stone statuette we picked up earlier to open another shadow puzzle pathway. We head through the centipede-infested corridor as Ethan says fuck word after fuck word.
Fuck, 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 fuck!
Eventually coming to a door with a crow on it. It seems that we are in need of another key, so we do what any reasonable adult would do in this situation, and hop under the nearby floorboards and yank our crank. We crawl back out and yank on our crank to raise a nearby dank plank, allowing us to cross a gap to clear out some of the nests with the burner. It really is crazy how useful this thing is right now and how quickly we are going to drop it like a bad habit. Heading outside, we find another plank in need of a crank yank, leading to a restroom with a very decorative chest holding the crow key. We backtrack through the old house towards the door when Marguerite jumps out the cut and pushes us backwards, causing us to crash through the rotting floorboards. We are forced to shoot at Marguerite above us as she confuses us with American singer, actor, and television personality Cher and tries to summon bugs to attack us with her lantern. After a few rounds to the dome, Marguerite drops into the pit, cueing us to climb up and look back down one last time as she is swallowed up by the swamp, clinging to her light. Well, c'est la vie. We head through the crow door and come across a briefcase with a weird embalmed fetus or something in it. No serum in sight, but the note attached gives us the ingredients for a serum smoothie. Zoe calls and we let her know that we need the head and arm of some experiment called the D series. Zoe nonchalantly says that she probably has the head laying around somewhere, and asks us to find the arm by continuing to explore the old house. Checking the second floor of the building, we come across a door locked by a weight-based locking mechanism puzzle. Hey, it looks like we need a lantern to counterbalance the weight. Luckily, we know right where a lantern is because Marguerite dropped one when we killed... Oh. We climb down into the pit and see something.
What the fuck? Well, that's special.
We emerge from a well outside the greenhouse. Heading inside, we shit our pants as Marguerite, now a twisted monstrosity, attacks us. We use our patented escape method of shooting things in the face, and then head off into the greenhouse, waiting for this old woman to emerge from the shadows before lighting her up again. We shoot her in her, nest and keep the pressure up until she finally calcifies and crumbles to dust, leaving behind the very lantern we need.
You fucking stay dead, okay?
I don't want to know where she was storing that. I mean, I think I know, but I don't want confirmation. Returning to the old house, we use the lantern to open up the door, revealing what looks like a kid's room. The atmosphere is much creepier, and stuff keeps moving. I mean, shit, look at this teddy bear. It looks like it had one too many Jaeger bombs. Something ain't right here. Eventually, our flashlight cuts out completely as the voice of a little girl warns us to stay away.
Stay away.
Hearing this, we of course continue forward. We come to a bedroom and find a drawing in a totally not cursed dollhouse that acts as a map of the room we're in, showing us a hidden door. Behind it, we find a mummified little girl with a monster arm. We pull it off in a moment that for some reason reminds me of this scene from Dragon Ball Z where Nappa rips off the Arlean behemoth's finger, and turn to leave when we see a little girl lurking in the shadows. She runs off. We try to leave with our prize, but some moldy boys are not too happy to see us. It's time for us to make a break for it. We dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge, narrowly escaping, and sprint back to the phone where we inform Zoe that we won the literal arms race. She is very impressed and can't wait to leave here together once we make the serum. We plan to meet up at the trailer, but when we get there, Zoe is nowhere in sight. We get yet another phone call, but this time it's from bad boy Lucas. He lets us know that he's got all the ladies on lock, and that if we want them back, we have to play a little game with him. Like a desperate ex, Lucas tells us that if we want the head, we can feel free to come by anytime. To join his party, he asks that we check the fridge. Looking inside, we find the partially molded head of the deputy with a note where Lucas tells us to go to the dissection room in his best Jesse Pinkman impression. We head back downstairs to the processing area, headed towards the room that we last saw the deputy's body in, running into Grandma once again. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Whatever. We are introduced to a little jumpy boy variation of the molded who is going to be a pain in our ass for the rest of this run, and finally make our way back to the dissection room. We are asked to prove that we're a real man by getting some throat, which is not something I ever thought I would say in a video. We stick our fist nearly elbow deep, and then we pull out our snake key. Lucas lets us know that we have to use the key to find 2 key cards that are hidden in the main house. We take a slight detour and head through a crow door to grab the grenade launcher, which will make fighting the molded a blast moving forward. Heading upstairs, we unlock the door to the main bedroom where none other than Granny is waiting for us. This slippery bitch is everywhere. Holy shit. We see a note letting us know that we forgot to move the clock for daylight savings time, so we check the other clock downstairs and make the time match accordingly. This opens a secret staircase under the bed for some reason, which we head down and then look back to see that we are now trapped down here. We emerge into the workshop where someone has been working on a weird animal limb sculpture like the one we saw outside. We grab the red key card off the desk, then run back upstairs, only pissing our pants a little bit in the process. Back to the main hall we go, where we notice that some mold has been added to improve the feng shui. Headed through the snake door, we come across Lucas's childhood bedroom. He has a diary where we learn that Lucas had some pre-existing mental issues before this whole mold outbreak, which led to an incident where he may or may not have lured a bully into the attic of his room and kept him up there until the kid died. Who's to say? We look around and find the remote control mentioned in the diary, which drops down a ladder to said attic. Upstairs, we find another VHS tape labeled Happy Birthday, and yet another shadow puzzle that gives us the blue keycard. We now have everything we need to attend Lucas's little party, but before we do, we take some time to check out our newly acquired VHS tape on the TV in the trailer. The video shows Clancy, the cameraman from the earlier Sewer Gators tape, being placed into a room by Lucas. It looks like Lucas got a little too into the Saw franchise and is looking to try and become another one of Jigsaw's apprentices. Unfortunately for Clancy, he may be more of a Mark Hoffman-style apprentice, where there may not be a way out even if you do play by the rules. Clancy takes a candle from a member of the Insane Clown Posse and needs to put it into a birthday cake. But when he tries to go into the room with the cake, water puts the candle out. In a totally logical series of steps, Clancy uses 100% of his brain power to deduce that he needs to go back, light the candle at the stove, use said candle to burn a rope allowing entry into a room full of balloons, find a random smaller yellow balloon, attach said balloon to a pipe with flowing air so that it pops, launching nails into his hand and a quill into his gut. Go back to the toilet, grab a telescope, use the water mechanism to wash the doo-doo off, then look through, hoping not to get pink eye, to see the combination noose, grave, baby hidden on the monitor display. Go back to the combination lock in the cake room and enter said combination to get an effigy that we burn at the stove, giving us the dummy finger. We take the turnkey out of the nearby barrel, which starts leaking some type of fluid onto the ground that probably isn't important. Go back to Shaggy Two-Dope, give him the finger, quill, and use the turnkey to find out what the other kids called me in high school, and enter said secret word on a combination leading to a valve that will allow the water mechanism to be turned off, allowing the candle to be brought to the cake without being extinguished. Whew. Unfortunately, the cake explodes. And the fluid leaking from the barrel was important, as it ignites and takes out poor Clancy. R.I.P. in peace. Back in the yard, we use the red and blue keycards to gain entry to the testing area, aka Lucas's playhouse. Lucas does his best IRL streamer impression, talking to us over a TV screen. He has the D-series head and explains that he doesn't know why some people want to be cured of the gift. He tries to convince us by pulling off his own fingernails, which I don't really understand how that would sway us to his side of things, but I admire the passion. Lucas seems to get interrupted in his home manicure by someone named Evelyn, and ends his little live stream broadcast by saying that if we want to take the head, we are going to have to come through him, which I'm hoping is not an innuendo. Inside the testing area, Lucas has set up pipe bombs with tripwires. We avoid them and find the locked gate from the Happy Birthday tape. Lucas pops up and offers some helpful advice on what the passcode for the keypad is. We try one, but judging by the swinging metal death trap, I think we got it wrong. A secret door opens, leading to a hallway with more traps. As we slip under a tripwire, our animalesque instincts tell us to whip around as a jumpy boy tries to take us out. We fire one bullet and think that we got a critical headshot like a badass. But upon reviewing the tape and editing, it appears that the pipe bomb trap likely took out the creature midair. This doesn't stop us from thinking that we are a true gamer registered trademark at the time, though, which causes us to immediately forget about being cautious and walk directly into a trap, which doesn't kill us, but does knock us like a Looney Tune character into another trap, which ends up killing us. This series of events not only takes poor Ethan out, but also completely eviscerates my ego. In the barn, we find a console with a missing car battery, which is conveniently upstairs. We replace the battery, which promptly blows up in our face, both literally and figuratively, as it activates the nearby elevator. Lucas has lowered down an extra thick moldy boy, who proceeds to do his best impression of my uncle after 5 too many dollar margaritas from Applebee's. He vomits all over the place, which is disgusting but not an overly effective tactic in taking us out. We put the big boy down, and Lucas says the best line in the game. "Shut me down! Shut me down!" Taking the elevator upstairs, we discover the charred remains of Clancy, with a note telling us Lucas's favorite John Cusack movie, which also happens to be the code we need for the keypad. After dumping our inventory in a nearby storage box, Lucas allows us into his birthday cake trap room, not realizing that we already saw the spoilers for how to solve the puzzle. Instead of following the full sequence of steps, harming ourselves and releasing the accelerant from the barrel, we bypass all that shit and put the magical L word into the combination lock, allowing us to turn off the water. We light the candle, take it to the cake, which still explodes but does not light the room on fire. Lucas is not too pleased with our little birthday magic trick and decides to do his best impression of punk band Rancid in 1995 and releases a time bomb. We throw the bomb through a nearby hole in the wall and climb through the path that it opens up. It seems Lucas has just slipped out, but in the end, we got the head he promised us earlier. The TV monitor shows us 2 people tied up in the nearby boathouse. Heading inside, we find our wife, looking somehow worse than the last time we saw her, and none other than Miss I Get Unlimited Nights and Weekends Minutes on the phone, Zoe. Mia's daddy's senses are telling us that he is coming yet again, proving that Jack has some incredible stamina. Zoe rushes to make some serum smoothies in a conveniently placed food processor. The plan is to take a boat through the swamp once the girls are cured. We have enough ingredients for 2 syringes worth of smoothie. For some reason, we decide we want to hold on to both. I guess we just want to feel powerful, but that plan is interrupted by a large disfigured colossus. Jack is back again. At this point, this mold is getting old, so we get to work doing the classic Resident Evil boss fight tactic of shooting eyeballs. After bursting enough of Daddy's balls, Jack hops on top to establish dominance. He takes a few more shots to the face, then finally goes down all the way. Or does he? Jack wants to go another round, it seems. Zoe suggests giving him the serum smoothie to make him sleepy, so we inject our good stuff right into Daddy's face. He seems to enjoy that, saying it's real nice, before calcifying into a big white goopy mess. It seems Daddy is finally spent. Heading to the end of the pier, we are presented with a dilemma. We used a syringe of serum smoothie to satisfy Jack, so now we only have 1 left and 2 ladies to choose from. The game gives us a very tough choice here. Do we cure our wife, someone we've been trying to save from the first minutes of this journey? Or do we give it to someone we just met and have no history with aside from a handful of phone calls? Yeah, so we give the cure to Mia. Sorry, Zoe, but even though she's a little weird looking, she's the whole reason we're going through this nightmare, and we're gonna have to see it through. I'm sure it will work out okay for Zoe in the end, though. Probably. On the boat, we confront Mia about her involvement in all this batshit craziness. She is still playing the "it was a long time ago, who's to say" card, and unfortunately we don't have much time to press her on it as we come across a large ship that has run aground in the swamp. We bump into something and then are capsized by some mold tendrils.
Oh boy! Time for everybody's favorite part of the game!
We hear the little girl from earlier calling out to Mommy. Waking up, there's a terrifying monster below us. Oh wait, that's our reflection. We are now playing as Mia, and as we head towards the shipwreck, we see Ethan face down, ass up, laying out down in the mud. We try to rouse him, but he is swept away deeper into the ship by a wave of mold. Heading in the ruins of the ship, we pass a mass of people fused into the mold, which is a little unsettling, but Ethan went through all that shit for us, so I guess continuing is the least we can do. It is clear that this place has seen better days. In fact, we start to get glimpses of said better days in visions of the past. Seems that the workers are discussing someone who is killing people on the ship before it crashes. Continuing on, we see another vision of a worker getting attacked by the little girl from earlier. When the vision ends, the girl is actually here. She asks if we're starting to remember, which is apparently still hard for us. The little girl finds our amnesia hilarious and teleports away, goading us to follow her. The little girl claims that we told her we could be a family. She locks the door, forcing us to dodge mold monsters and retrieve a nearby fuse to follow her. Heading up the staircase to the 3rd floor, we find the girl waiting in front of a TV. She tells us to watch a nearby VHS tape because we need to remember so that we can be a family. We begin to watch the tape, which is titled Test Subject E001 Sea Transport Log Top Secret. Finally, the truth is beginning to be revealed. Mia is working with a previously unknown daddy named Alan, who has been injured and infected in some type of attack. He gives us a tissue sample and tells us to fix the situation that is going down. Mia sets off to find the little girl from earlier, Evelyn. Turns out, our wife was a fucking secret agent this whole time, working for a shady organization. She and Alan were tasked with transporting the girl because Evelyn is secretly a bioweapon in disguise. Now that Evelyn has escaped, we try to track her down and find that she is vomiting black mold all over the ship, spreading her influence and creating the molded. We see Evelyn, but the slippery bitch gets on an elevator and heads to the lower level of the ship. We follow her to the lower deck and use some corrosive acid to open a door where she seems to be hiding. Evelyn asks us if we are mad at her and calls us Mommy, which catches Mia off guard. Apparently the bioweapon imprinting protocols caused Evelyn to see Mia, who is acting as Evelyn's mother, undercover, and start to think that she really needs her to be her mom. Evelyn has been trapped in a lab her whole life, but is over that shit and wants to have a family. She runs off, leading us through hordes of moldy boys back to the elevator. We track her signal to the 3rd floor where we find Alan, whose infection is getting worse. Alan makes the mistake of calling Evelyn the bitch word, and she doesn't take too kindly to that. Alan begins to hack, then yaks some black, eventually succumbing to the attack and hitting the ground like a sack. Evelyn steps in and surrounds us with mold, infecting Mia. We wake up later, walk to the next room, and record a pretty clear video telling Ethan to forget about us that will eventually be ignored years later because of an email that could have come from anyone. In the next hallway, a worker runs towards us before putting the bust in spontaneous combusting, followed by Evelyn letting us know that we will be together forever before causing the ship to crash. Eventually, Jack would stumble across an unconscious Mia and Evelyn in the swamp and bring them home to try and help them. Little did he know, this would seal the fate of his entire family, allowing Evelyn to sink her tendrils into all of them in an effort to make her perfect family. Back in the present, Evelyn asks us if we remember now. We say that we do, but we were JKing about that whole being a mommy thing. Evelyn says she doesn't need us anymore and does the weirdest little kid jump scare ever, then runs away. We give chase, finding a monitor with a security camera attached that shows us that Ethan is in the basement of the ship. Now, you can take some time to gather the machine gun that Mia was using in the flashback, but I figure that if she is such a secret agent that she can't even give her husband a heads up, causing him to think that she has died or left him for 3 years, she can survive the moldy boys on the ship with nothing but a knife. We grab the fuse from earlier to try and get the elevator running again, and head up to the 3rd floor sickbay to find a power cable. We set up a remote bomb, unscrew the cable, detonate said bomb on the big boy that was trying to sneak up behind us, grab the cable, and dip before we get puked on. With the elevator operational again, we head to the basement and make our way through some tight spots to find our husband trapped in a mold cocoon. We switch perspective to Ethan, who seems... Oh, come the fuck on. Jack is back again? Well, kind of. This is some sort of weird hallucinatory video conference call now that we're plugged into the mold network. The true spirit of Jack gives us the backstory on everything, telling us that the Bakers were actually victims of Evelyn. She infected and controlled them, and that she made Mia send us the email so that she could have a daddy that Mia actually liked and got along with, thus completing her twisted little family. Jack asks us to find and stop Evelyn so that the Bakers can be free from her control. Now that the mold Zoom call has ended, Mia frees Ethan from his cocoon and forces him out of the ship with the sample of Evelyn's tissue from earlier. She pays homage to Daddy Alan by telling us to go kill that little bitch word. Ethan is upset to lose his wife yet again and joins in on calling Evelyn a bitch word as well. We come to a weird shack where we hear some radio chatter about someone checking out the Baker house and finding no survivors. They say that Evelyn is still missing, and also hint that Lucas was working with a third party behind the family's back. We grab our things out of storage and head back on the long trek to find Evelyn. To get back to the Baker house, we have to travel through a salt mine. The area is crawling with moldy boys, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm getting just a little bit tired of these shits. There's just so many. We come across a lab where it seems that Lucas has been supplying information to the aforementioned third party. Said organization gave Lucas some way of defying Evelyn's mind control, which is sort of terrifying when you think about it. Jack is whack, but his mind was under attack. Marguerite is a creepy bitch, but she was probably sweet before the whole Bogussy situation crept up. Lucas was and remains a fucking lunatic without Evelyn's influence. He is an actual, true monster. If I had a nickel for every time we came across a weird briefcase with a fetus thing in it, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. We insert the tissue sample that Mia gave us, allowing us to create a neurotoxin that will help us take down Evelyn. This is it. The home stretch. By this point, we are a well-oiled machine. We are taking out molded like it's our job, because at this point, it is. This is what I do. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. I move like an ancient wind, and I strike like a nightmare's kiss. I eat lightning and crap thunder. I just get the job fucking done. We make it back to the basement of the old house and... Oh, no Granny. Weird, after all those other encounters, I just thought... Never mind. We are now having hallucinations of the past as well. We see how Evelyn was influencing Mia even from the very beginning of our journey. Evelyn says that if we don't want to be her daddy, then we can die, which seems a bit harsh. She seems convinced that we are going to give in to her influence, but we show her that we have other plans for this encounter, and she sends visions of Mia with her chainsaw to try and scare us off. We finally find Evelyn, hiding in the attic of the old house, and she attempts to push us back away from her. Slowly, we make our way closer, inch by inch, until we finally stick her with the neurotoxin needle and... holy shit, it's Granny. When Evelyn took control of Mia and the Bakers, she stopped getting medication that she needed to stabilize herself. This resulted in rapid aging over the course of the last 3 years, leading to Evelyn looking like an old woman. Old Granny Evie begins to melt into a puddle of mold, eventually twisting and forming a giant face on the wall. She desperately thrashes in a final stand, destroying the house and growing even larger. A helicopter flies overhead as we fight against Evelyn, trying to defend ourselves and shooting her when we can, until she spears us through the leg and lifts us up. We spray some lead into Miss Big Head until she drops us on the ground. Nearby, we see a container that has been dropped from the helicopter. Someone hijacks our comms and tells us to use the weapon inside. We slowly crawl and grab the Albert, a supercharged anti-bioweapon pistol, and use the heater to peel Evelyn's goopy-ass wig back. Eventually, she calcifies and crumbles. It seems she is finally defeated. That will surely be the last we see of her. Seeing that we have done all the work, the circling helicopter descends and some soldiers rappel down. Some weird twink takes off his helmet and says that he's Redfield, but I know that isn't Chris because he doesn't look like that before or after this game. That has to be his cousin Chet or something. Yeah, Chet Redfield. The Baker house's property value has gone down a bit, and it seems that Mia is on the helicopter with us. It feels like everything has worked out for the Winters family, and maybe now Ethan and Mia can put this terrible night behind them and work on rebuilding their relationship after all these years. Evelyn is dead, and Chet Redfield's team are going to clean up this mess and sell the Baker property for a small fortune. As dawn arrives, everyone looks forward to a new future, where everything will work out well for everyone, and nothing bad like this will ever happen again. The end.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to watch today. Resident Evil 7 is one of my all-time favorite games, and this is kind of a remix of an old video I made on it. Consider this my love letter to the game, updated to be more entertaining and in line with future content on this channel. I will have another remix of an older video coming out next, then the first in a new style of video on this channel. We're going to be covering horror, action, RPGs, story-based games, basically whatever I want. The whole game condensed down into one highly edited, super entertaining video, hopefully. If that sounds good to you, I want to quickly ask for a few favors. Number one, if you want to make sure you do not miss the next video, please consider subscribing to this channel and hitting the bell to turn on notifications. Cliche, I know, but these videos take a long time to make in the quality that I want to deliver them in, so this will make sure that you know when a new video goes live as soon as possible. Number two, speaking of these videos taking a long time to make, if you could throw me a like or maybe share this with a friend or on your socials or Reddit or wherever, it would mean a lot. I make these videos out of the love for the game and I don't make any money from them, and it takes up a lot of time between my day job and my family and working on other content for YouTube. So any love you could share with me and help get this video out there would mean the absolute world to me. Thank you. And last but not least, number three, a huge thank you to the artist who made the thumbnail for this video, BoysMayCry. I have linked both his social media account and his Fiverr gig in the description of this video, so please make sure to check him out. And if you are in need of some badass art, commission him. You will not regret it. Thank you so much for making this video even better with your art, BMC, and I look forward to working with you again in the near future. But that's all for me today. Thank you all so much for checking out the video. I'm so excited to share more with you guys as soon as I can. But to be able to do so, I better get back to work. As always, make sure to eat well, stay hydrated, take care of yourself and those around you, and I'll see you in the next one, friends.